Hey, what's going on YouTube? I am back with another story time. If you do like these story times, please like, subscribe, ring that bell. But, I had been seeing some people talk about, having to deal with anxiety and panic attacks. And it just made me want to talk about, the worst panic attack I ever had. And it's still notable in my mind to this day because it is far worse than what I've seen a lot of other people deal with in terms of panic attacks. So basically it was just like another morning going to work. I worked at an insurance place as sort of kind of like a quasi assistant. I handled like return to sender mail and calling people to remind them about their bill and just organizing clerical work, that type of thing. Even doing some quotes for people, car insurance quotes. But other than that, pretty much just standard day morning going there. Took the bus. Everything seemed fine. I would basically just seem like another day, and I get into the office, I start working, start going through the mail, I always do the return to sender mail first and whatnot, calling people up to try and verify addresses, all that sort of thing, and everything seemed fine. And then all of a sudden it just kind of felt like uncomfortable, like just kind of my skin started to crawl a little bit, and something felt off. I could tell like my heartbeat was going a little harder. I could feel like, that anxiety, panic, and I'd been accustomed to that before. I've been dealing with anxiety since can remember, really. So like I was very familiar with that sense of like, okay, let me just take a few deep breaths, maybe, splash my face with water and whatnot. I go to splash my face with water, everything seems like still just dealing with the panic attack, doing some breathing exercises, whatnot, seem to control it. But then as I'm doing these breathing exercises that normally calm it down, it got worse. My face got all of a sudden really tingly and numb, and part of my face started to droop. I almost started to worry that I was like having a stroke or something the way it was. I was starting to lose like the ability to like stand properly, and like my limbs, and just was losing pretty much control of my limbs, my coordination. My hands started to sort of I literally couldn't open the door to get out of the bathroom. It was that bad. I literally could not articulate my fingers. They were sort of in a funky, weird position, and everything felt like, from my face and my arms and my legs, everything felt like quasi numb. And so I end up like using my arm. It's one of those just like twist knob doors, so I end up using my arm and trying to get enough like basically friction on it to then swing it open. And I go out and I'm like, I don't know how else to describe it. Like somebody with maybe like cerebral palsy, where I'm like, I just literally am just stumbling out, just struggling to control myself, like walking. And I go into the office, and immediately, of course, they could tell something's wrong, because I'm literally going like I can't even talk properly. I'll just say, call 911. Like I literally thought I was having a stroke. It was like, okay, I'm gonna need some medical attention here. Let's see what's going on. And so I end up sitting on the floor trying to breathe still, and my arms are like kind of almost like forcibly like on my chest, like kind of aimed. Like I literally they were like stuck in a certain position, and I just couldn't move them, and everything just still felt numb. And so then like paramedics came, and they had oxygen, and they basically pumped me with oxygen, and I just sat there for 30 minutes, and I basically came back to. I like had just some serious like lack of oxygen combined with that panic attack that made it that like serious medical crazy panic attack. I normally have it to where it's pretty bad, where like someone might say like medical attention, but I usually can kind of handle it. This was literally like anybody looking at me would be like, dude, you need to call, like, we need to call 911 here. What is going on? So I sitting there for a good 20 minutes, oxygen pumping into my lungs there, and it slowly but surely just kind of melted back, and I was back to normal. but it was gnarly, and I ended up with like a quasi hangover the following 2 days. I was like brain foggy, my energy was low, like it felt like my body just went through the ringer for those next 2 days, just out of it. I ended up going to the doctor to check it out the next day, and they pretty much just, kind of confirmed it was a panic attack. And in fact, they tried to insist on like giving me Xanax, but I already kind of knew that Xanax was probably actually one of the worst things for me in reality. So I pretty much just refused to take any type of Xanax, but they were really trying to suggest that. But basically I just everything seemed relatively okay. They checked me out, I got scanned, everything, but they definitely said to just basically try and take it easy as best as possible. And ever since, I haven't had it that bad since. I've had these panic attacks where my heart's racing, I feel like I'm having a heart attack and whatnot, but nothing to where I was actually losing control fully of my limbs. I've had the face numb thing, but not of like full on just droop face, drooling, like my just complete loss of control of limb function. Like that had never happened before, and it hasn't happened since. And that ended up being kind of the final straw. I had a fair bit of part of it. What I think it was is there was a fair bit of family drama going on, and it was kind of that final straw before me moving out and away and just getting away from my family and a lot of the toxicity and whatnot, the mental illness surrounding it. So like it was just this culmination where it was just that breaking point, and I think that was actually the true underlying trigger of the panic attack itself. There was just a lot of buried things that were just really hitting the surface, and literally within a month I had left, I moved out, I left, and it was probably one of the best things I could have done for myself. I needed to get away. It was a bad situation, so I needed to really get back and sort of just collect myself and just regather myself as a person, just really get on my own in a way that's just away from all that the toxicity I was dealing with. So but that was the worst panic attack I ever had. What have you got? Anybody dealing with anxiety? What's the worst panic attack you've ever had? You deal with that at school, anywhere else, anywhere more embarrassing or less embarrassing than work? But in any case, if you do enjoy this story times, please like, subscribe, ring that bell. You have a great rest of your day.